Derby Jack here. Good morning. It's Sunday morning. I'd like to thank people who've been praying for me. I've been feeling prayers. Oh, and people who have been giving. I'm blessed and humbled. And I hate being in this position, but it's a very, very hard thing to be humbled like this. You know, I was going through here and been praying, reading a little word, seeing the world. You got people from Canada coming down, truckers coming down to the border. You got the pervy Joe and the boys in Washington allowing a possible civil war in the country. So we got rumors and rumors of wars going on. And you got a bunch of people people are waking up little by little, a little bit. A lot of people are there are people out there finally seeing that everything they see on TV and isn't what they think it is. And all these people saying that what they say is truth, and finding out that, after years of dealing with this so-called truth that they've been trying to propagate, that's why there's so much problem with misinformation. If they would shut up and stop lying, we wouldn't have this misinformation problem. But of course, the authorities, those who say they're in charge, those who say they're experts in different fields in which they work, and organizations who think that they've been voted in or just decide that they have a right because, well, I'm a health organization, we're shutting your state down, we're shutting your country down, we're shutting everything down because we are called a health organization. Whether it's right or wrong, whether they have the legal precedent or not, they do it. And here's the problem. It's not that they do it. It's that the human population of the world allows them to do it. You give them access to making you miserable. You give them access to your life. You give them access to your body. You do it, not them. They only do it because you allow it. And the thing of it is, most humanity is ignorant that way. So now the WHO organization is having a lot of problem with misinformation problems. They can't get their lies out because nobody wants to listen to them anymore. And commercials. I have seen every other commercial during the news hour, within an hour. Vax this, vax that, vax this, vax that. They got a vax for every goddamn thing they can vax. I mean, what is next? A vaccine for toenail fungus? I mean, it's gotten that bad that now they want you to believe, this is what it all comes down to, that you don't have an immunity system anymore, that they have to give you one. I'm sorry, people. That's a lie. That is a lie. You were born with a natural immunity system that can fight most anything. Now, there are things it can't fight. A vicious bite of a python, unless you have, unless you have the serum. If you got crushed under a big rock, more than likely you're not going to live. And if you do, you're crushed. What are you going to do? But see, when it comes to words are the most crushing. Lies can be the most detrimental. And what's even worse to your health are those who continue telling you something and constantly pushing things on you that actually do you more harm than good. I've already told you about pharmakia. I've already read some excerpts of a book that I was reading to you on the spiritual connotations of what the the circumstances of pharmakia. What is pharmakia? Well, pharmakia, basically, when you just put it up there, pharmacy, pharmakia, it's a lie. That's what pharmakia is. It's a lie. It is the opposite of treatment. And when you get into understanding the snakes during the time of Moses, you know, getting his people out of Egypt, his staff ate up the so-called poisonous staffs, which were supposed to be used today as the snakes as healing. But the problem is the snakes don't represent healing. They represent the opposite. They represent death. And they're on the sides of ambulances. They're on the sides of hospital buildings. And the two snakes represent the snakes of death. Wouldn't you want the actual snake instead of two snakes? Wouldn't you want the one snake? Maybe wrapped around the pole of Moses, you know, wrapped around his staff. But no, they want the double snakes because they represent lies. They represent fibs. They represent untruths. They represent misinformation, if you will. So, every other commercial, they're pushing. The WHO isn't. Tedros, they don't even call him a doctor anymore because he's not a doctor. If y'all remember, old Tedros was he's behind some pretty awful things back in the 80s. That's right. You know, go down to real South Africa and go back about 1970s and 1960s, what him and other people in these organizations were doing to the people of South Africa. Yeah. They didn't have sleeves, so they just took their arms and plop, you know, shove shit in it. So we live in a world where the truth is a lie, and the lies are truth. So they have the TV. What their problem is that what happens is every person that wakes up becomes a mouthpiece against them. And that's what they can't handle. Is for everyone who wakes up and starts talking against them, that's one less person they got in their back pocket. They're getting empty in their pockets, little by little. Now, don't get me wrong. They still have a lot of clout. There are still a lot of ignorant people out there who believe in ignorant bullshit. Excuse my language, but it needs to be said. When it's there in front of you and it's starting to look like it and smell like it and, you know, like a duck, you know, then it's a duck. And all these organizations out there, these health ministries and all, that they do. They cluck. They cluck like old hens, you know. Cluck. And absolutely tell you nothing but lies. Cluck, 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 cluck all day long. And like I said, every time you watch a commercial, the one that starts with a P, PH, right? It's always out there trying to make money off of your silly ass. That's right. Excuse me. I'm sorry. I'm trying not to, but that they make me feel this way. They make me angry because they're the ones doing misinformation, not the rest of us. We're trying to wake people up. And then you got the crap going on at the border. Why is it the border needs to stay open? If the border is a problem, why is it need to be stayed? Why can't anybody tell us why they can't close the damn border? Did you lose the lock? Did you lose the key? What happened? What's going on? Pervy Joe is up there making them keep the doors open, and yet they're trying to blame the person that he's telling to leave the doors open. Lies. So those who say that they need to be credible, isn't it funny? It's like I always talk about racism. The ones who cry racism the most are the racists themselves. And it doesn't matter what color you are. You fall in a category every time you fall, like you're you know, like, okay, well, I'm against these people, I'm for this, I'm for that, I'm for, and because it seems to be the opposite of what's right. So you get trapped in that. And what it is, the so-called authorities that should be giving you good information, they don't know how to do that because they're caught up in the lies themselves. So everybody's lying to each other. And yet, the ones who wake up, we're dangerous. Do you know that I've been hearing over and over again that if you go out and buy a Bible at a Bible bookstore, if they still have them, or if you buy a Bible anywhere, especially if legally, that you know that the government is watching you because you bought a Bible. Why? What is it about the Bible? Well, because fringe groups grow from religiousness. Well, yeah. Well, but what you're trying to do, you're trying to mold another narrative. You liars in high places. It's like when Pharmakia says, well, for all of you people who do not do what we ask you to do, you're the problem. The problem is, it's you people continue asking us to do it is the problem. How many people have to die? How many? Before you're exposed completely. And there's no place for you to hide. See, that's what they want. They don't want us to hide from them. But what happens when too many of us wake up? Too many people wake up. Where are they going to hide? Your bunkers ain't going to do it. Because apparently you let us know where your bunkers are. Right, robot boy of Facebook? Huh? Little punk? Yeah, so yeah, y'all burned down Maui, charbroiled the people down there. Federal government don't give two craps, so they don't sulk about it. They've hid Maui. They've hid Hawaii from public. Yeah, the only thing I've heard about, is this going to affect, travel? Is this going to affect, people coming and wanting to, what do you think? They're making the place ready for a FEMA camp, you stupid monkeys. That's what they're doing. So, they will lie. And they'll continue lying. And continue lying. And continue lying. Thing of it is, are you going to continue listening to it? Are you going to continue believing it? That's the whole point. And how much longer? I guess my problem is, how long does a person have to stay blind before they see anything? And you people aren't seeing it. I don't care. Every time they put up the heat against misinformation, that should tell you something right there and then. Every time they lose the battle on information, they keep bringing up the heat. We got to do something. We got to shut down the internet. We got to do something because we're losing the battle on information. Because you're a bunch of liars, that's why. You're filthy, blacklisting liars. That's all you are. Filthy to the core. There's nothing good in you. Dr. What's-His-Face, right? I can't even say his name anymore. I'll get kicked off. Well, guess what? You're a Fruit Loop. That's right. You can't tell us whether to wear a face tampon or not. You can't tell us whether we should be able to roll up or sleeve. You're the one that says it and turns around and says, well, I didn't say that. The little man who said he could be a god. Yeah. Oh, yeah, you say something against me, you're talking against science. Well, hell, I sure am. Because science is bullcrap. Even God hates scientists. God doesn't really like you, don't support you guys very well. Einstein wasn't God's favorite. He didn't give him that information. For God is not a liar. That's the whole problem. You guys can't get God to lie. You try to lie for him. You try to lie to make it sound like it's him. But sooner or later, the truth comes out. So, here's the thing. The Pharmakia, the idiots of the Pharmakia, industry, they're going to continue. Thing of it is, are you going to continue listening to them? Your friends, your family members, wake them up. Tell them they're liars, because nothing comes out of their mouths on television that's true. Nothing whatsoever is truth. Even if they give you a little truth, it's always surrounded. Always surrounded. Always sandwiched in with a bunch of lies over it. So I just, what gets me is that I used to think the same way, and now I look back in retrospect, how could I ever think that what some of you think? Why would they do that to us? Why would they want to kill off all the cattle and make us eat worms and crickets and stuff? I don't believe the government would do that. You better start looking at the ingredients in your flour. Lie number one, you believe something that they said that they wouldn't do, but they're doing it. And here's the thing. Most people sit there with that attitude. Why would the government want to destroy its own people? Why would people in Israel want to kill their own people? Why would they want to kill the Christians over there? Why would they? They would say they wouldn't, but they do. And yet nobody can get past the point. Why are they continuing to do it? Over here, we found out these things were killing more people than the so-called floating around, right? And yet they continue pushing it, and yet people continue dying, and nobody's questioning it. Why? Because you all believe that they wouldn't do something like that. That's the biggest lie, is when you lie to yourselves. When you sit there thinking, why would my government, the people that we vote in, why would they want to do that to us? Why would they want to keep the borders open and destabilize our country? Why would they do something like that? Because they're doing it. When you get past the point of why and just realizing they're doing it, why would they lie to us? Get past the point that they're lying to you and realize they're lying to you. Every time Pfizer gets on television and tells you about another one for this and that and this and that and this and that and this and that and hangnails, it's a lie. And yet, why would they make so many things that would destroy our immune systems? Why would they do that? Why would they lie? When you get past the word why would they and recognize that they do it, there's the beginning of knowledge right there. There's the beginning of wisdom. Forget why. Just recognize they're doing it. Recognize that they're not as good as they claim to be. Recognize that every time they show you a smile on their face. They're actually smiling against you. They're not laughing with you, they're laughing against you, laughing at you, because you're falling for their lies. And yet they get mad when you wake up. They get mad because you and people like me telling you these things make them look bad. Like people like me, a little guy, that's why they don't let me grow, because I got a big mouth. And my big mouth actually has got me in trouble, but now my big mouth is opening up doors to individuals' lives. My big mouth is reaching one person, and that maybe one person will reach another person, and that other person might reach 100 people. And maybe that 100 people, maybe that person reaching 100 people might reach 500 people, and it goes on and on and on. And all of a sudden, truth overpowers the lies of the syndicates, the lies of the secret organizations, the lies of the pharmakia, and the lies of governments, and the lies of individuals in power, the lies of the money makers. All the lies can be exposed when you get past why would they do it. Get past that. Stop questioning why they would do it, and just recognize that they're doing it. Whether you're Democrat or Republican, for you people who are always stuck in that little brick, and that's what it is a brick. You're stuck in it. And so you're stuck in that little square. and you sit there and say, when you get to the point of believing that your vote does not count, and you recognize that democracy is a lie, and democracy is only freedom given to you through whoever is in control, when you finally realize that you're not in a country of freedom, that your flag does not represent freedom, your flag does not represent a constitution or a Bill of Rights, that your flag represents slavery. When you finally get to that point and say, why would it? When you finally get past why, that's the word you got to get past, and just accept that what they're doing is lying to you. As much as you can accept the lies, it's now time for you to look at it, turn it on its head, the way it's turned you on your head, and start looking at it for what it is. A lie is a lie. There's no truth in a lie. A lie makes a liar. A liar makes a lie. You see, they both work hand in hand. So everyone who continues to give lies and tell you that truth is misinformation are continuing to pass down lies. So the WHO organization is getting tired because they're trying to respin. They're constantly having to respin their lies to make them fresh. The problem is, slowly but surely, people are waking up to the lies. But when people start looking at the commercials and start seeing that every other commercial has to do with some type of sickness, illness, has to do with some type of injection, has to do with some type of this or that, has to do with some type of medication. Every other commercial, it's like, what kind of people are we? Are we that sick? Really? You know, they always say that you keep giving somebody, antibacteria stuff and and all kinds of medicines, that heal. Eventually, you get immune to them, or eventually, the medications are actually doing more harm. And yet, when you find out that something's doing harm, they never take it off the shelf until they have to. Isn't it funny? You ever see that about food? Look at all the recalls. Why are they recalling so many foods? I thought we're supposed to be in the 21st, 22nd century, right? You got AI. AI can do this, AI can do that. And yet, all this technology, and yet, poison gets into the food. Metal scrapes get into applesauce. Mercury gets into milk. I mean, how the hell does all this happen if we're such in a new world order and we got all this technology and stuff? Well, as far as I'm concerned, your technology is a bunch of crap. Technology ain't doing the job it's supposed to do. You got technology to destroy the immune system, but you don't have technology to strengthen it. You have technology to mass produce food, but yet the food that you're mass producing is bullshit. It's worthless. It's tasteless. And it's probably going to hurt you. You start telling us about science. You change in science on us. Farmer's Almanac used to tell us what science really was. What true gardening was, what true this and that and all that. And now we got so many chemicals out there, we don't even know what's right and wrong, but what will work and what won't work. What you used to be able to do, you can't do because the world has changed. You expect rain to come down and give your fruits and vegetables and stuff nutrients from the ground, and yet what it's bringing you is metals and other poisons and stuff that are being sprayed by mankind in the sky and coming down in the rain. And you're wondering, why are there so many deaths of birds and lizards and all kinds of species dying? Why would they do that? Why would they spray stuff in the sky that would harm us? Get past why and accept that they're doing it. When you finally get to the point of recognizing and you get past the why, and you're realizing you're doing it, that's when you start thinking, which is something they don't want you to do. But when you start thinking, then you start getting angry. That's something they fear. Is when you start looking at the television and you start looking at the commercials and you start realizing, Grandpa died because of that particular serum. And so did Uncle Mike across the ocean, and so did my best friend next door, and I lost my dog. The canned food that had stuff in it and killed my dog. Get past the why. Get past of all that they're capable, that they're willing for the buck to do illegal stuff, to lie, and try to turn it on to you, and try to turn it against you, and try to make it sound like, well, no, it's the people telling the truth are the liars. So people like me are dangerous. Why? Because we wake people up. We give you something to think about. And the last thing you need to do, don't do your own research. Don't listen to those research people because they'll be wrong. You can't listen to them. They don't know what they're talking about. They're not as good at lying as we are. They don't know how to craft a good lie. You ever see those papers that come out with government? They have to craft certain types of lie. When they start telling you what's in this, they got to put words in there that you can't understand. And if you do try to look the words up, you're wrong. You can't second guess. You're not an expert like me. I went to school for it. Well, what about the other experts when you all started your program 4 or 5 years ago? They were experts like you, went to the same schools that you did, but didn't believe the same thing that you believe. They didn't fall for the lies in which you did. They didn't propagate the lies in which you did. They don't continue living under the lie in which you did. They rather lose their license and have a conscience. They'd rather lose their license and have a conscience. They'd rather lose their license than have a conscience. They don't have a conscience anymore. For every person that dies under their rolling up the sleeve program, they don't give a crap. That means that, think about this, that means that the program's working. But what are you saying, Derby Jack? Are you saying that the program is to kill people? There you go. Now, get past the why and recognize they're doing it. When you get past why, see, the why is what gets you in trouble. Because you're trying to figure out, why would people be this way? Why would people want to drink baby blood? Why would people want little children and be perverted with them? Why would people want to be that way? You know, and you think, well, there are people out there, but you wouldn't believe it's the people you're voting in. You wouldn't believe that it's people from both sides. Now get past why. Why would they be that way? Because they're possessed by demons. And here's the other thing. Why? I'm going to ask a question. Why? Why aren't you Christians waking up to spiritual endeavors? Why are you not waking up to the spiritual world? Why are you not seeing the demons where they are? Why do you walk into your church and you have a weak minister who ain't teaching you the truth? Why are you all not walking in the truth? Why are you walking in the lies? You say you're of truth. You say, I go to a Baptist church, but you don't know anything. You go to a Baptist church, but I'm going to get the kids, we got to go to Walgreens, we got to roll up our sleeves for the next... why are you going to church? If you don't believe in God, then why are you going to church? Well, I believe, but I also believe we need to get... Why? If you believe in God, don't you think God's going to protect you? Look, let me tell you something right now. The CDC, the WHO organization, all these, they are not like the shadow of death, okay? The shadowing of death when Moses is trying to get his people, and the one plague where the firstborn would be killed, that they put the thing across it, like the blood, across the door. and the shadow of death, the mist of death would pass them by. That wasn't an injection. That was a faith. That was faith. That was what that meant. What they're trying to do is tell you, well, we're trying to do that, but we're going to, that's what they're trying to make it seem like, even though they're not. And I've heard ministers in churches, heard about them talking that way. Like, God is working in the pharmaceutical companies, and God is working with the CDC, and God is like God is also issuing in Trump. If you're going to say why, if you're going to ask the question why would they want, no. That's not the way it's going to be. You got to understand the truth. When you finally understand the truth, and the truth is in you, you're protected from all diseases. The one disease, now you may not be physically protected, but there's one disease you are protected from. The disease of sin. The disease of death. Eternal death. Eternal disease. There is not going to be any. And when you're resurrected again in a brand new spiritual body, everything's new. All of this lies. All of these whys. All of these idiots who have done all these things to you, who have lied to you, turned it on its head and called it truth. It will be exposed and they will pay. But right now, you got to wake up. And you got to get past why. And you got to get past that why and respect that. Why would they lie? Because of self-interest. That's why. It's as easy for them to lie to you, dear Christian. It's as easy for them to lie to you as it is for you to lie to your children and tell them there's a Santa Claus. To tell them that the Easter Bunny exists. To tell them that if they leave their tooth underneath the pillow, that a fairy will come and give them money. That's where the lie comes. In the most innocent way. The lie wiggles its way through. In the most innocent way. And it wiggles its way in. Underneath. Over. And under again. Weaving its way through. Until it think of sewing a hole. Got the thread and needle, and you keep going in and under, over and under. All of a sudden, you got a new tapestry around that hole, and it's flooded with lies. That's what we're talking about, lies. Truth over lies. So, to all you people who need to wake up, who haven't woken up yet, and people that you're trying to wake up, ask them. How long are you going to continue asking why would they? And just accept that they are doing it. Why would they lie about your health? Why would they lie about wars? Why would they lie about what's going on at the border? Why would they push the envelope to somebody else? Why do they kick the can down the road? Why do they shove something over on the side and give you something new to think about? Why? Forget why. Just realize they're doing it. Realize that Pervy Joe's a pervert. Realize that the government, both sides, are in on it together. And when the cameras are off, they're pulling each other's pants down, and doing what they do best. Each other. That's right. Washing each other's hands. Swapping each other's wives. That's what they do best. Lying up the yin-yang every time they're behind a prompter. You got that little gay wench who's the Speaker of the House, the little clown woman. That's right. Sitting there, and every time she opens up her mouth, people are asking her questions. She can't answer them. When she does that, she's just kissing the old pervy Joe's butt. Pimple head, pimple butt, pimpled butt. So, that's actually the word of today. That's the word for today. Is why are you constantly asking why? Stop asking the question why and just believe the truth. And the truth is, they lie, they steal, and they destroy. And in the end, they kill. Or in the beginning, they kill. They don't care. They don't have an order for it. If one of these things that you rolled up your sleeve do it, they've done their job. The thing of it is that what they really want is at least to have one. Because they don't have to, I mean, I don't know how they actually make all their money. I mean, it's not like people are paying. No, they're telling you, yeah, you can come, we'll come and you get it for free. Remember when they were giving you lap dances, you know, a hamburger, french fry? Sure. Give you a McDonald's burger if you come in and roll up your sleeve. And so, that's it, people. And let us just end this with a little, and every spirit confesseth not that Jesus Christ is come in the flesh is not of God. And this is that spirit of the Antichrist, whereof ye have heard that it should come. And now already it is in the world. Ye are of God, little children, and have overcome them, because greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world. They are of the world, therefore speak they of the world, and the world heareth them. We are of God. He that knoweth God heareth us. He that is not of God heareth not us. Hereby know we the spirit of truth and the spirit of error. Beloved, let us love one another, for the love is of God, and every one that loveth is born of God, and knoweth God. He that loveth not knoweth not God. Oh, he that loveth not, excuse me, not love God, that love God, for God is love. And in this was manifested the love of God toward us, because that God sent his only begotten Son into the world that we might live through him. Herein is love. Not that we loved God, but that he loved us. But that God loved us and sent his only Son to be the propitiation of our sins. So, this is truth. Anybody listening to the world, you're listening to lies. You're listening to why. You're stuck in that. Get past the whys, get past the lies, and recognize the truth from the error. The world is going to get louder. Listen to me. The world is going to get louder. Like what's going on with Tetros, he's getting all worried. They're losing the battle over the narratives. And the more they lose the battle, the more viperous they become. They become wolves even more. You know, like animals start getting into a city when the people fade away. When a city dies or a town dies, the animals start coming in. Well, what's happening is truth is dying. Truth is being taken out. And the wolves, the liars, the thieves, the murderers, the retrobates, they're coming in. And see, that's why a lot of Christian churches are falling to the wayside, because they're letting the retrobate, They're letting the murderer, they're letting the lies, they're letting the wise in. And the only why they're not letting in is wiseness. Being wise. Instead of asking why, become why. Become wise. I might have to write a song about that. Don't become a wire. That makes you a liar. Become a person who's wise. There you go. There. So become a person who's wise. You know. Like I said, don't continue questioning why, because it makes you a liar. You keep asking the same whys that I asked until I woke up, and now I don't ask the question because I know the truth. They're liars. They've always lied. They always will lie, and there's nothing they can do. They will never tell the truth, because all that's in them is a lie. It's untruth. Now, this is not going on my main channel. This is going on a channel which is Derby Jack Ministry 2. And not enough of you are signed up to it. So, because this one I will lose the channel if I put this on my main channel. So I'm going to let you all know, and I'm going to make another short video to have you come to this, because all they can do is give me a warning. They can't take me down on my second channel. And then it'll give me an opportunity to recognize how I'm going to word this next time I speak on it again. You see what I'm saying? So, because I'm being watched and stuff. And they don't like me. And I don't like them particularly. I always talk about this, about people, and these liars, you know, all these experts. You turn them around, pull their pants down, and stick your foot up their butts, right? Or make them into a pretzel and shove their own heads up their butts. But you don't have to do that because they've already done it. But in saying all that, I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to make a short video after this on my main channel to tell you to come to my second channel and listen to this, you know, because, and just do it. Don't ask me why. Anyway, keep praying for me. Pray for me with my truck situation. My Tahoe. Yeah, I got no power steering. And I'm not driving today, but I'm going to go check my mechanic out and let him know my situation and see how he's going to work with me. I got a mechanic who knows a little bit about my situation, and I'm not really sure how much it's going to cost, but I know I know that the cheapest power steering unit is at least $65, so I can probably work on that, but it's the labor getting involved. So I don't know how he's going to work with me and how long he's going to want to wait, because I'm not going to be able to pay it right away and stuff. But I can't continue trying to drive that thing without power steering, because I'm going to break the axle in the front. I mean, something's going to happen. You don't understand. A Tahoe, a truck, okay, when that has no power steering, my muscles are so, I've been building up, I don't have to work out. All I got to do is drive that truck down and try to turn it. So So that's where that is. Plus, probably in a year, I'm going to lose my license anyway, because I'm going blind and I'm not going to be able to drive. So I don't know what's going to happen in my life. Maybe y'all ought to do bets on what's going to happen to Derby Jack, you know. So anyway, keep me in prayer. Keep the people in harm's way in prayer, that they die saved. Keep the people in Maui in prayer. They're being screwed. That justice does come somehow, some way for these people, whether or not in this life, the next. And pray for people to stop being ignorant. Pray for your family to wake up and stop asking why. And that's it. You got to get past why would they do it, and just recognize they do it. They are liars, and in them is no truth. And if there's no truth in them, how are you going to get any satisfactory comeback? Because all they do is they make you question more whys. And they sling it like crap on a shingle, remember? They sling it. They sling it as easy. I had a capuchin monkey down in Florida many years ago. When the monkey was going through its puberty stage and going through its wanting to not keep the diaper on as it got older, and it would sit there and get mad and sling its crap at you. Literally. I mean, that's what they're doing. Now, I never had to question why, because I knew why the monkey was doing what it was doing. I was a little bit more intelligent, and eventually when the monkey bit me, I had to give it to a zoo. It drew blood. After that, it's a wild animal. If it has a taste of blood, an animal like that should never be in prison in the first place. When I look back, I would never have done it if I know what I know now. And believe what I believe now. But in the world, these guys are slinging their crap all over the place. And you guys are letting it sit there and asking why. So, remember, I am a minister. I am doing everything I can to continue to stay online for as long as I can. I'm trying to keep the lights on. I'm trying to keep the bills paid. And I'm also trying to keep food in my stomach. This month has been rough on me. And my supplies are running low. And you have to understand how I eat. I'm not out there looking for steaks. I'm out there looking for whatever I can get in protein, vitamins, and hopefully not fed too much bull crap from these so-called people who are knowledgeable, who inject stuff and grow it in labs and all kinds of crap and geoengineering everything. These scientific fools. I'm trying my best to try to find food that I eat beans, dry beans, rice, stable foods. Stick with you. One bowl of rice with beans. And if you do have a little meat in there, I go out and buy beef jerky. Buy jerky, jerky that doesn't have any preservatives in it, stuff like that. You put that in beans, you put that in anything, man, you got a meal. So what I'm saying is that you got to start looking at people. I want a good meal. I want this and I want that. I want filet mignon. Look, they're not going to want you to eat that stuff anymore. And next thing you're going to have to figure out on is when the food starts going away, the good food, how are you going to manage the crickets? How are you going to manage your body being infested with all kinds of infestations? You know, it gets me how they can allow this to happen. And they talk about being healthy, and yet they want us to eat the same type of foods that God created animals to eat. We were created to eat the animals, not the insects. And I'm not going to go to the John. I'm just going to say this real quick for you people who've never heard this. John the Baptist, yes, ate wild locusts. But yet John the Baptist also had an antibiotic, and that was wild honey. The antibiotic fought the chitin or chitin, whatever it's called, the chemicals that are in the bugs. Only thing they will do is they're going to do the same thing. They're going to make a medication. All these pharmaceutical companies are good at this. This is what I talk about, why and lies. They cause the problem, and then they have the medication that goes behind it. Isn't that something? Think about that for a moment. Oh, we got the medication for an outbreak. Like X, the outbreak of X. What is X? Nobody knows. But it's out there. The lies are out there. Scully and Mulder are going to find them. So anyway, like I said, keep praying. For those who can give, please give. If you can't, then just pray. Only give if it's moved by the Holy Spirit. I don't want any money that's given out of pride. I don't want any money given out of patting yourself on the back. I don't want anything like that. And money needs to be prayed over with power prayers. And like I said, the most beautiful prayers are powerful prayers by powerful believers. These are potent prayers. These are the type of prayers that make that travel and make demons move to the side. Think about that. Your prayer is so powerful that it makes demons move to the side. Can you say that about your church when they pray? When they do their worship services? Are demons moving to the side, or demons sitting in there comfortable? I'll guarantee you, if I had a church, you come in as a homosexual, you come in as a transgender, I guarantee you, by the second week you come, you're either going to stay and change, or you're going to leave. I ain't going to have it. My church will not have sin sitting in the pews, being comfortable, being loved on. No. Demons will not be allowed in my church. And if you come with a demon, you better make sure that demon's going to be leaving with you. And he's going to stay in my church. And if you come back with another demon, I may not let you in my church. How many ministers are that way? They don't that way anymore. Because Christians are becoming afraid to stay as Christians. Christians are hiding behind things. They want to hide in the back. They don't want people to know they go to church. And if people do go to church and everybody says, oh, that church is a great church. Why? Because they're letting the homos in, they're letting everybody, they're letting all the sin in. That's why they're a great church. But for you people who buy Bibles, that means you're going past the regular. No. Bibles are bad things. Bibles give people bad information. Bibles are dangerous. Not rolling up your sleeve. It's dangerous to open up a Bible. It's dangerous to read it. You might get some preconceived notions to take over. You might get some preconceived notions to tell other people that things aren't quite right because of certain people, certain reasons. And they don't want that. They can't have people opening up their eyes and seeing the lies and stop asking why. They want you to ask why, because it's confusing. Because the more you ask why, they're in control of the narrative. And the more whys that come out means that they got control of you with their lies. So, pray. That's all we got. Heavenly Father, I thank you right now for your word. I thank you right now for working mightily within me to do of your will and pleasure. I thank you right now, Father, for working mightily within the structure of Christians, Father, that they stop asking why and recognize that the truth is in the lies that they are being told. Every time they turn on the TV, every time they listen to the talking heads, every time they believe in what comes out of Washington, it's either left with whys or left with lies. And maybe a little bit of both. But the truth is never given. I claim obedience in the Spirit. I claim that people who are in those harm's way, in these wars, that they die saved. I claim obedience in the Spirit for those people in Maui, Hawaii. I claim that justice be done, if not in this life, the next, for what happened to them and how the government murdered them. Literally murdered these people. Charbroiled. They will never be forgiven for that. Not in my book and not in God's. I claim retribution, Father. I claim that you do what you need to do, Father. In the name of Christ, amen and amen. Derby Jack out, and I hope to see you all on the other side.